It's the kind of headline that chills an entire community. A mother in handcuffs. A missing 9-year-old child. And a story that has grown darker with every unanswered question. In California's quiet coastal stretch of Santa Barbara County, the case of Melodee Buzzard has taken a devastating turn. Her mother, Ashlee Buzzard, is behind bars, arrested on a felony charge of false imprisonment. But even now, with Ashlee in custody, Melodee is still missing. What began as a welfare check has turned into one of the most disturbing missing child investigations California has seen in years. Before we unravel this haunting timeline, before we confront the silence that has followed every desperate call for answers, I need something from you. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. No gloss. No sugarcoat. Just raw reality. Because cases like this don't fade because of time. They fade because people stop paying attention. Before the headlines, before the searches, before the white Chevy Malibu became the centerpiece of a statewide manhunt, there was simply Melodee Buzzard. A 9-year-old girl with soft eyes, a quiet smile, and the kind of gentle spirit that blended easily into the background. Family members describe her as shy, kind, eager to please. She grew up in Vandenberg Village, a small, peaceful community near Lompoc, California, where children ride bikes after school, neighbors wave from across trimmed lawns, and the loudest sound most days is the wind sweeping through eucalyptus trees. It's a place that still feels safe. A place where the idea of a missing child seems impossible. Melodee lived there with her mother, Ashlee Buzzard. Her father had passed away when she was an infant, leaving Ashlee as her only parent. Ashlee told neighbors she was homeschooling Melodee, a quiet, independent learning setup through the local district's program. To most outsiders, that explained why they rarely saw the little girl. But over time, the silence around that home grew heavier. Fewer visitors. Fewer interactions. And almost no photographs of Melodee surfaced online. In a world where every birthday, every first day of school, every random afternoon becomes a post, Melodee's absence from digital life began to speak louder than words. For years, the outside world saw almost nothing. Just a mother and daughter tucked away in a small California neighborhood. Until that silence broke. The first sign that something was wrong didn't come from a neighbor or a relative. It came from the school district. In early October 2025, administrators from Melodee's independent study program noticed she hadn't checked in for weeks. Emails went unanswered. Phone calls rang out. Eventually, the school sent a welfare notification to authorities, a routine step when a child enrolled in home study cannot be accounted for. Deputies from the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office were dispatched to the Buzzard residence in Vandenberg Village. What they found was anything but routine. It was October 7, 2025. The day that transformed a welfare check into a missing person case. Deputies arrived at Ashlee Buzzard's home expecting to confirm that Melodee was safe. Instead, they found disarray. According to reports later summarized by ABC7 Los Angeles and SF Gate, the house was cluttered, unkempt, dishes piled in the sink, spoiled food left out, and an overall scene that suggested chaos rather than routine family life. But the most alarming part wasn't the mess. It was the silence. There was no sign of Melodee anywhere. No laughter, no sound of a child playing, no indication she'd been there recently. Deputies asked Ashlee where her daughter was. Her answers were vague, shifting between homeschooling references, travel mentions, and claims that Melodee was fine but staying elsewhere. None of it added up. Authorities pressed further, asking for proof of life, a recent video, a live call, even a photograph. Ashlee couldn't provide one. And that's when the case escalated. By the end of that day, the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office had opened a missing child investigation for 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard. The next morning, detectives returned, but by then, both Ashlee Buzzard and her vehicle were gone. The white Chevrolet Malibu she'd been driving, a rental, had vanished. At first, investigators hoped Ashlee had simply taken Melodee somewhere safe. Maybe to relatives. Maybe on a trip. But as days turned into weeks, it became clear that something far more serious was unfolding. The Malibu's license plates became a critical clue. According to The Independent, investigators now believe Ashlee may have swapped plates to avoid detection while traveling across state lines. Digital records traced the car's movement hundreds of miles east, possibly as far as Nebraska, before it vanished from surveillance systems altogether. For the Buzzard family, panic set in. Melodee's grandmother, Miranda, told reporters she hadn't seen her daughter or granddaughter in years. She had hoped they were reconnecting quietly somewhere, not realizing a tragedy was brewing. Miranda kept the unopened birthday presents she'd bought for Melodee every year, little reminders that love never stopped, even in absence. Now those unopened boxes sat heavier than ever. The FBI soon joined the case, recognizing the potential of interstate travel with a missing minor. What began as a local welfare check had become a federal search. But there was still no sign of the child. The investigation into Melodee Buzzard's disappearance unfolded layer by layer, revealing a disturbing pattern of isolation, secrecy, and silence. Detectives began interviewing neighbors and relatives. Almost every story sounded the same. They hadn't seen Melodee. Not recently. Not in months. Some couldn't remember the last time at all. According to CBS News Los Angeles, investigators discovered troubling gaps in Melodee's homeschooling records. Assignments were incomplete. Attendance logs were inconsistent. And the last verifiable proof that Melodee was participating in school activities dated back more than a year. The further detectives dug, the clearer the timeline became. October 7th, deputies conduct welfare check, find home in disarray, Melodee missing. October 8th to 10th, investigators canvass the neighborhood, no one has seen the child. October 11th, confirmation that Ashlee had rented a white Chevy Malibu. October 12th to 13th, the car's tracking data shows movement outside California, possibly toward the Midwest. October 14th, investigators confront Ashlee again, she refuses to disclose her daughter's location. October 17th, with growing inconsistencies, the FBI becomes officially involved. Despite repeated opportunities, Ashlee Buzzard remained uncooperative. She wouldn't say where Melodee was, who she might be with, or even when she had last seen her. And without that information, detectives faced a nightmare familiar to anyone who's worked a missing child case: the vanishing window of time. The first 48 hours are critical. After that, each passing day narrows the odds. Then came the turning point. In early November 2025, after weeks of mounting pressure, the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office made its move. Ashlee Buzzard was arrested on a felony charge of false imprisonment, a charge technically unrelated to her daughter's disappearance, but significant enough to hold her in custody while investigators continued their search. Reports from SFGate and People magazine confirmed that deputies located her during a coordinated operation and transported her to the county jail for booking. Her demeanor, according to sources close to the arrest, was guarded, distant, and uncooperative. Authorities have clarified that this charge is not a declaration of guilt in the missing child case, but it was a strategic step. With Ashlee in a controlled environment, investigators finally had the time and leverage to press for answers without fear she might flee, hide evidence, or mislead the investigation further. But even now, the one truth that matters most remains out of reach. Where is Melodee Buzzard? The arrest signaled a decisive shift in the case, the moment when speculation turned into suspicion, and suspicion hardened into probable cause. According to The Independent, detectives uncovered evidence contradicting Ashlee's previous statements about her daughter's last known whereabouts. Those discrepancies, paired with digital data and eyewitness accounts, became the catalyst for her arrest. Psychologists and criminal behavior experts have since weighed in. Dr. Bethany Marshall, a Los Angeles-based psychoanalyst quoted by The Independent, explained that in cases like this, apparent silence is rarely benign. She said, when a mother refuses to provide information about her missing child, it's about control. It's calculated. Neighbors described Ashlee as private, reclusive, someone who rarely allowed others near her home. They said she often came and went at odd hours, sometimes carrying large bags, sometimes driving off and returning alone. To many, those details seemed insignificant at the time. Now, they feel chilling. Investigators also learned that Ashlee had taken a road trip months before Melodee disappeared, a trip whose purpose remains unclear. They suspect that journey may hold key clues, possibly even the origin of this entire tragedy. Every scrap of data is now being re-examined: phone records, surveillance footage, rental car logs, and GPS points. And yet, despite everything, no one has found Melodee. When you strip away the legal language and procedural updates, what remains is heartbreak: a little girl whose smile is now a missing person flyer. The case of Melodee Buzzard isn't just another true crime story. It's a mirror reflecting the quiet dangers of isolation, secrecy, and denial. Behind every missing child headline is a series of missed chances: teachers who stopped getting responses, neighbors who assumed privacy, systems that trusted one parent's word too long. Ashlee Buzzard's arrest might bring investigators closer to the truth, but until Melodee is found, justice remains suspended in midair. The community of Vandenberg Village, once serene, now wakes each morning to the same haunting question: where is she? Candlelight vigils have been held. Flyers taped to lampposts. Families lock their doors a little earlier now. And somewhere out there, perhaps within the sound of those same waves that used to hum over that California coastline, are answers that only one person can give. If you know anything, any detail, no matter how small, contact the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office or the FBI's Missing Children Division. Your information could change everything. Because the truth has a way of surfacing, even when it's buried under fear, silence, and time. Until then, we wait. For Melodee. For justice. For the day her story stops being a mystery and becomes a memory. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. No gloss, no sugarcoat, just raw reality.